We have another guest here. We have Mr. Steve Marcus. How are you doing today?
Good. How are you?
Good. Thank you for joining us.
Oh, this is fun.
This is your theater. How do you feel about having the 82 Brewers in your theater?
I think it's terrific. It's almost as good as me being at the 1982 World Series.
All right, you got to tell me about it. How was it?
Let's see, it was at County Stadium and also in St. Louis because I went to both places.
That's amazing.
I went to all the World Series games.
Did you really? Yeah. So you got to live a full movie right in front of your eyes.
That's right.
What was Milwaukee like? I was very young when the Braves moved. I can vaguely remember it. But what was Milwaukee like in that period between the Braves and the Brewers?
In the summertime, it was very quiet.
Yeah, I bet.
And now it's very exciting. And I hate to say it, it's exciting even if they're not winning their division or playing in the World Series.
They're still playing baseball in Milwaukee.
The game is terrific, and having it in Milwaukee is fabulous. It's terrific economically for the city. It's terrific for young people to grow up in that kind of environment and have that to cheer for instead of other things they can get themselves into. So I mean, it's a huge plus.
Well, wasn't there a time when they actually thought the White Sox might be moving to Milwaukee during that period?
There was a time period when, after the Braves had left, absconded to Atlanta, that Bud made a deal to bring the White Sox here for a couple of games.
Right.
I think that's what it was, my memory.
But they sold out when they came.
Well, they were selling out, sure, because Milwaukee was a great baseball town.
Right.
Because of its population, it wasn't as good as much as a media town, and Atlanta was a wide open market. It had the entire Southeast available to it, so it had huge media.
I don't care. They never should have left Milwaukee.
Wisconsin basically is a small media
Yes.
market, just by population.
So when did you start Marcus Theaters?
Well, I didn't start it. My father started it. Now, you can say in a way I did because I was about 6 months old.
Okay.
You were a part of it.
You were there.
He needed to feed me, and so he decided, well, a movie theater is probably a good way because if nothing else, there was plenty of popcorn and soda around.
You'd have something to eat. Yeah, I worked in the minor leagues, and I lived out for hot dogs for a summer.
Oh, okay.
Right.
And he started that in Ripon, Wisconsin, and we still have that first movie theater.
Do you really?
Yeah.
I grew up in Portage, Wisconsin.
Oh, well, okay.
And I always heard there was the one theater, but then they told me about another one that used to be there. But that's what you did on Fridays and Saturday nights. You went to movies.
Sure, that's right. That's right. It's a different world today.
Yeah.
Now, you were telling us a little bit about this off camera, but what was it like? Because you were talking about the legislation that was going on, trying to bring a team to Milwaukee and get a stadium.
No, trying to get the new stadium built.
Trying to get the new stadium built. Got it. Sorry.
Yes.
So what was that like, being around for that, being a part of it?
Well, it was sort of crazy, but no crazier than politics is today.
That's fair.
Maybe it was tamer, but it was a real tussle, and the Brewers needed help to make that happen. As every market needs the help. They all get help building their stadiums. They really are wonderful economic drivers for the community.
Right.
Not only is it fun for the people who live here, but it also drives a lot of activity. It says we are major league, and as a result, companies make decisions about wanting to be in the community, be a part of the community. They know that it helps them attract employees to come to work for them. On the whole.
Well, and I know one of the big things when the American Family Field was built on Miller Park, Bud insisted on a retractable roof.
Oh, yeah.
Because if you lived outstate, you never knew if the weather was bad. You may not even bother going to the game.
You've got it exactly right. That's 100% correct. They always know there's going to be a game. And about 2 months ago, I was in Minneapolis, which that's where I was born, and I have to tell you, I love Minneapolis. I think
Right.
it's a great city.
Yeah.
But for them to have built a stadium without putting a roof on it,
I've never understood it.
unbelievable.
We were questioning that when it happened. It's like, I get outdoor baseball is quite an allure, but you'd think it's Minnesota. That's colder than Wisconsin.
It's not all that good when it snows.
Right,
and it
exactly.
rains. So,
Right. Well, and I remember one year when Cleveland was snowed out, they actually came here to play,
I think that's right, yes.
and they drew 15 or 16,000 people even then. So Cleveland's always been like our adopted team after the
That's
Brewers.
why we got Joe Boo up there.
You've been a part of this community now. Your son is running the Marcus Theaters. Have you seen?
He's running the whole Marcus Corporation.
Okay.
Yes.
Have you seen people coming back to theaters and back?
Well, certainly since the pandemic
Right.
has ended, it's gotten better. We were basically closed up when that happened. People really didn't want to go into big crowds.
Yeah.
And so, but it's been much better now. Each year it continues to grow, and so now we have a big new streaming competitor out there, which is giving us some competition. But I think it makes us better, it makes our industry better, and my father used to say when television first came in, he said, "Well, isn't it going to kill the movie business?" Well, his comment was, "Look, everybody has a kitchen at home. They still go out to eat."
Exactly.
True.
And so he was very confident about the movie industry, movie theater industry, and where it was going to be going. And before the pandemic, we had probably close to the best year we've ever had in our history. Now, a lot has happened in the movie business. In those days, our first movie theater was called the Campus Theater. One screen.
Wow.
One screen.
Yeah.
And for a long time, it was single screen up until I think probably the late 40s, early 50s, somewhere in there. And someone came up with the idea, well, why don't we put two screens together and we'll have a twin. And then that grew to triples and eights and tens.
And look what we have now.
Place. And so, and it was an economic theory. His idea was, well, if we need one manager to run one theater, we'll be a lot better off if we have one manager running 10 theaters.
There you go.
And same thing for the concession stands and the maintenance people. You didn't need to multiply everything by 10. And so economically, it worked out much better. And not only that, people had more choices of pictures to see. If they could see a comedy, they could see something about sports,
Right.
they could see a mystery. They had a total choice. They could take the whole family and everybody see a different movie. So that was a big change. And then we went to stadium seating.
Yeah.
That was a big change.
I bet.
That was. And now the lounger seats.
I fall asleep almost in some movies.
The only thing you have to be careful of is that you don't sleep through the movie.
My kids bring me to some movies where I'm like, you know what, I'm going to close my eyes for just a second here. But they have a good time, and that's the most important part.
They do. And you know something? The young people today, and it's always been this way, do you really think that they want to hang around the house on a Friday night with their girlfriend or their boyfriend?
They want to get out of
Maybe
town.
no friend, but they're looking for one?
Yeah.
Right.
It's much better to go to a theater where there are lots of other young people. But truth is, it isn't all young people. It's people of all ages because they make movies for a wide demographic.
I've got to ask you, because you were here when the Pilots moved to Milwaukee. What was the enthusiasm for that move? I mean, I've read stories about it. Seattle was trying desperately to get the team to stay, but there was just no money there. And we swooped in and brought them over here.
Well, I have to tell you, I'm a good friend, have been with Buddy Seelig for a long time.
Right.
So I was around, and we were in school together even. I don't think this all happened a little bit later than that, but we went through school together. So I was very aware of how much he loved baseball, how important that was to him, and how how enthusiastic he was about it, made everybody in the community enthusiastic about it. But I do recall that after that, when he was pursuing a team, when he was going and talking to the major league owners about a team, he was either always late for a party with his friends, or he missed it altogether. And Sue wound up there alone with her friends, but she was there by herself. Where was Bud? He was out meeting with major league owners, trying to get a franchise for the city.
Wow.
And it was a long, tough fight. He was very tenacious about it. He really, I don't know how he held his temper when he met with them, because he got turned down so many times.
Sure.
And then at one of those points, and he could tell you better, the Pilots went into bankruptcy,
Right.
I think.
Yeah, they did.
And they were ripe, and he grabbed them just at the time. He was ready to go, and he had a lot of really good partners in the Milwaukee community, and relationships he had built up over time, who were a part of the group that was pursuing a team, and they were ready to go.
Yeah.
And they had the resources to put the money down and acquire the team and bring it here. And if I remember right, they bought that team only a month before the season.
Right. It was short
Even
turnaround.
a month. It was very short.
Well, we don't want to hold you up because the movie is about to start, but we appreciate you taking the time to talk with
I
us.
appreciate visiting with you.
Yeah, thank you
This
so
is
much.
Exciting. Thank you. And thanks for all you guys do.
Oh,
no worries.
anytime.
Thank you.
Thank you for the movie business. We're grateful for theaters like this. It makes the movie going experience a lot nicer being in a place like
We
this.
promise we won't ask you for tickets.